guess what? Who wants to stick around and learn how to eat better? Anybody? Good. Good, okay. All right, good, so you get to do that. Well, this is everything you need to know. It's easy to become overwhelmed with the very concept of good nutrition. It seems that eating right is as technically complex as taking a trip to the moon. Eating less, eat less fat, eat more fat, eat omega-3 fat, eat any kind of fat you want as long as you don't eat carbs. Avoid eating carbs, eat more whole grains. Wait, aren't whole grains carbs, right? Eat more protein, eat less protein, drink green tea, take supplements. Wait, no, don't take supplements. Get more fiber, don't mix your proteins and your fats. Eat fruit only before 9:30 a.m. Will I gain weight if I eat an apple with lunch? Well, let's see, I eat 40% protein, 30% carbohydrates, 30% fat. Oh, wait, does that add up to 100%? Wait a minute, if I eat and it adds up to less than 100%, do I lose more weight? I don't know. Do I eat more fish? Don't eat farmed fish. I didn't even know fish grew on farms. Did you ever see a fish tree? I never saw a fish tree. I've never seen red meat is evil. Evil? What's evil? Are chicken nuggets okay then? How did primitive man ever survive? What's the truth? The truth is that eating perfectly is almost impossible. This is actually an excerpt from my book. I put that in there to, come on in, yeah, see. I put that in there, and I purposely broke every rule for making a PowerPoint presentation to illustrate this stuff is ridiculous. This stuff is ridiculous. You can absolutely get overwhelmed. I have clients who are 150 pounds overweight. And they walk in with their bag of vitamin supplements, and they want me to sort through them with them. And yet they're still in the drive-thru 3-4 times a week. There's a problem. So I do. I sort through the vitamin supplements. I throw them all in the trash. I'm not here to say that supplements are great, that they're not great, that they're good, that they're bad. I'm not here to say that. All I'm saying is that it's easy to become focused on the wrong stuff or on the least important stuff. One of the things I do a goal-making class. And here's the whole goal-making class. You ready? I'm going to give it to you in 30 seconds. I want you to think of the smallest possible smallest possible thing you can do right now with regard to your eating to make the biggest impact. The smallest thing you can possibly do to make the biggest impact. No, notice I said can do. I made a mistake. Will do. Because can do doesn't really mean anything, does it? It's like a loophole in a contract. Okay. Let's introduce a new concept, a new paradigm, a new way of thinking about the nutritional world. We're going to talk about eating better. We're not going to talk about trying to reach some sort of a nutritional ideal. We're not going to try to talk about all becoming, commune living vegans. Not that there's anything wrong with being a vegan. I told my mother I was a vegan, and she thought it was a cult. She tried to rescue me by making a tenderloin. This is a true story, by the way. By the way, I do eat mostly plant-based diet. It is not how I lost over 200 pounds. Okay, I didn't come to my plant-based diet until well after I lost the weight. So I'm not going to turn anybody into a vegan. Isn't that, how many people are relieved to hear that I'm not going to turn anybody into a vegan, right? Good. So some people are so worried about that. So what's better? Okay, first thing is, do you want to live long or do you want to live long and well? Right? What good is it to live long? There's something called the Dale. Has anybody ever heard of this thing? Okay. Let me tell you about the Dale, because there's going to be a quiz later, and if you don't get this right, I'm not letting you out. Dale is the disability adjusted life expectancy. And what that means is they started to look at the whole world and they said, well, who's living longer? But who's living longer with the least amount of disability? That makes more sense, right? Yeah. So who in the world lives longest and with the least amount of disability? Anybody know? It's okay if you don't know the answer to this. It turns out it's the Okinawans. The Okinawans. On this little island. Why is that? Well, it turns out that they sent legions of people to go study this, and here's what they found. It turns out that Okinawans really like vegetables, and that Okinawans enjoy their food, and they avoid overeating. I don't know what that's supposed to say, but that's what it means. Okinawans garnish their food for visual appeal. Again, it's about imagination. It's about creativity. It's about making food matter. It's about bringing food. Food has become utility in our world. It's not utility. It's significant. It's supposed to have meaning. Okinawans are great at portion control. Has anybody ever heard the Japanese phrase, hare hachibu? You have? Did I say it right? Do you know what it means? Eat until you're 80% full. It sounds a lot better in Japanese, doesn't it? Hare hachibu. And the Okinawans actually take that as a creed. So one of my clients said, how do you teach somebody to do that? And I said, you know what? I don't. I don't, because in the Okinawan people, it's part of their culture. How do you teach somebody culture? It either becomes part of who you are or it isn't. And they often go meatless. I am not going to turn you into a vegan, okay? Just chill out. But Thomas Jefferson did say, I consider my meat as a condiment. Thomas Jefferson was one of the oldest living founding fathers. So, why did Loma Linda, California make the Dale list? Anybody have any ideas? Seventh-day Adventists, that's right. Does anybody know anything about Seventh-day Adventists? What's that? Used to be one. So if I were to say that Seventh-day Adventists, it's part of the culture of Seventh-day Adventism to eat a plant-based diet, but not entirely plant-based, and then also have physical activity in your world, right? That is part of the faith. Well, it turns out that these people who practice this faith, they live long and prosper. How cool is that? I don't know anything else about Seventh-day Adventists, so, okay. So, if you want to go on a diet, the first thing you're going to do is go hungry, right? It's a good idea, right? No, it's a bad idea. What are you, crazy? It's not sustainable. Never go hungry. You need to eat. Why don't you try just not breathing? That's a good diet. It lasts about maybe a minute if you're really good at it. You can't do this for a long time, okay? Not only that, but very low-calorie diets are dangerous. How many people have ever been on starvation diets? I have in my life. I'm not proud of it, but I was. What ended up happening is when you put your body through a starvation state, your body thinks, I'm in a famine. I'm not going to let that happen again. And it was what? It adapts. And when it adapts, your metabolism literally lowers. There's research to support this. Here's the problem. It doesn't come back. It doesn't come back. If you constantly starvation diet and then gain weight, and starvation diet and gain weight, your metabolism will start to get lower and lower, and you'll be like me in the fortunate position of being able to live I can live anywhere in the world. Anywhere there's famine, I can live there because I don't need that much food to survive. Maybe that's good, maybe that's not. So very low-calorie diets are not